This is your before and after story. Prepare for an incredible career in nursing. At Southeastern College, experience expert hands-on training. Learn real-world skills in our professional lab and simulated settings. And train for opportunities as a practical nurse, registered nurse, or career advancement with our RN to BSN program. At Southeastern College, your future is bright. Visit sec.edu to get started.
I was afraid of horses actually, and my father decided that I shouldn't be afraid of horses, so he brought me to a facility from Francisco Bessa de Carvalho in Portugal, where I started to ride. And it was quite interesting because it was not about force or trying to do the horses to make what we want. It was like trying to understand the horse and to communicate with the horse from the very beginning.
So, hello, good afternoon, and welcome to EquestrianSounds. We are on the episode number 13, and today we are in an international interview with Tiago Mendoça, who is from Portugal, but it's working now in France in the Clinical Ethology and Animal Welfare Center here in France, of course. We met Tiago on the last October on the Erasmus Plus meeting in Portugal, in Santarém, and he has several papers, like, for example, very interesting. One has the name of Equine Activities Influence Horses' Response to Different Stimuli. Could this have an impact on equine welfare? And the impact of equine assisted therapy on equine behavioral and psychological response. So thank you very much, Tiago, for joining us and having this this interview to you. So how are you? How is the time in France?
So first of all, thank you very much for inviting me to be here today. So the weather in France and the time in France is a little bit cold at the moment. So we have negative temperatures, but everything is going fine, and we can work with this.
Okay, so it's like winter moments, no?
Yeah, winter moment. Yeah. Okay. With some snow. Yeah.
You have snow. Nice.
Yes, not really in my city, but just I can see the snow from my window.
Nice. Yeah. I'm in Bilbao also, and like not in Bilbao, there's snow, but like in the mountains near, you can see snow and everything. Like for a 1 hour drive, you will find snow. So that's nice. So let's go. So what was your motivation, curiosity to get involved in the equestrian world?
Well, I started riding horses at a very young age. I was afraid of horses actually, and my father decided that I shouldn't be afraid of horses. So he brought me to a facility from Francisco Bessa de Carvalho in Portugal, where I started to ride. And it was quite interesting because it was not about force or trying to do the horses to make what we want. It was like trying to understand the horse and to communicate with the horse from the very beginning.
Nice.
So starting from there, I always kept the curiosity about how horses understand and perceive the world. And when I received my first invitation to come here to do my PhD in France, it was like, yes, of course, I want to work with horses. I want to know more, and I want to publish whatever I can understand about how horses perceive the world. This would be my project for the PhD.
So that's your PhD project is talking about the horse's perception of the world?
Horses' perception, and also the impact or the influence that our activities, so how we ride horses, have on their welfare.
Nice. Really nice.
Well, I'm saying about riding, but not only riding, because I also worked with equine assisted therapies and activities. So not only riding, all the activities that we have with horses, actually.
Yes, just like living with the horses and taking care of them and
exactly
just being in charge, no?
Exactly.
Nice. And how is that going? How's that
the PhD has already saw its end in 2020. So I finished my PhD in 2020, and I observed very interesting things. But for me, one of the most important things that I've observed is that actually horses will respond differently to the same stimulus if they have learned different activities, which means that we are changing the way that horses behave with the activities that we are making them to do.
Nice. So that means that humans are having a huge impact on how the horse function.
Exactly.
So it's.
I still believe that also horses will have an impact on the humans that are riding. For example, for people with disabilities, for example. So I think it's a sort of a mutual impact, but the horse didn't choose to be there. We did.
Yeah, that's the thing. No, it's have to find. That's the challenging part about how to find the balance between because of the horse didn't choose to be there, but how to make this balance where I can have a positive impact on the horse and the horse can have a positive impact on me or on the humans. That's I think that's a very interesting point. So,
and it's a difficult balance to manage because sometimes the horse is not really enjoying, but he still needs to do something, and other times the horse is enjoying and probably the person is not enjoying so much. This is normal, but we have to balance the most we can for the horse.
For me, that's been like a big challenge, like how to find that balance and how to we maybe have to ride, maybe we have to ride, or to create those moments. But it's an interesting path to discover. So.
And I think this is a path that will last for many years. I mean, I think we are going to be retired or even dead, and the path is still going on.
Probably, but we are there in the path, I think, and that's
important. Yeah,
that's changing, and just being aware about this, creating that we can have an impact, and the horses can have an impact in us, and trying to find that balance. That's enough to make excellence or quality in the services or in the activities. So, even what point of view they have. So. Nice.
Yes.
Thank you. So next question. How is your daily life like around horses in France or in Portugal? Or if you are...
I at the moment I'm not riding because I don't have the time. So my riding or having an interaction as I would like to have with horses, even on the ground. But I am seeing horses every day because as a vet, I wake up in the morning, I pick up my car and I go to see horses with different kind of pathologies, not only behavioral pathologies, but orthopedic problems, etc. So I wake up in the morning, I pick up my car and I go to see my clients and my horses' clients and try to solve their problems in terms of health and welfare. Yeah. So that is pretty much what I'm doing during the day. So it can vary a lot. I mean, it can be just a simple vaccination, as it can be a colic, or it can be a behavioral problem. So the horse is not behaving as it should. So I need to find a solution. Yeah.
Okay. So it's nice because all the days will be different, no? Like with horses, even though that more or less they are the same, like in the same type of routine, but all the days
are all different. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, and well, I'm really focused on having the best experience with each horse and for each horse. So I have to do injections. I'm a vet, but if I do an injection, I want the horse to understand that it's a bad moment, but something is going just after to happen that is good. So I'm going to give some treats for the horse that behave well, and try to have a little bit a moment before starting to inject anything. Just petting the horse a little bit. I keep a little bit of. I use a little bit of time to the horse to become used to me before doing anything that is not unpleasant for the horse.
What an interesting point. Notice that you say about bringing the horse a positive experience and something positive out of something negative, like to give a vaccination. Because I had like last year. When I did the vaccination of my horses, I asked my vet, and I said, because I couldn't be there, and I asked him about, how was your, how did you arrive and you address the horse? Just go there and with the vaccination prepare and just pop, do it like that? Or did you take the time? And he was not laughing, but he was, no, yes, I just come there but probably he will go very, very fast. So and I think like to bring this awareness about giving this type of interaction of the horse from the health part and from the vets, just being aware, I think it's awesome.
And I think it's really important, and I think that if you do it in the first contact, the horse will remind it, and all interactions we are going to have with the horse will be much more easy.
And then, of course, and it will be easier. And every time you go, it will be easier. We'll go faster.
Exactly.
So it will be nicer.
Yeah. For us and for the horse.
Nice. Very nice. Thanks for that, because I had that curiosity last year. So next question. What has been the horse or horses you had a closer relationship, or you had a stronger bond, like in the past?
Yeah, so it is a horse still in the facilities where I started to ride horses. It was a horse that was called Raio. And this horse, well, he was blind. He didn't have the right eye, if I remember it well. And so he couldn't see anything from the right side.
Oh.
And he was a foal at the time. He was 4 years old, and I started to ride the horse well, for me, I was learning, but the horse was also learning at the same time. It was quite difficult.
Okay.
But I think that it actually created a very huge bond between us, because we were learning both together. It was like a sort of a training of 1 week it was just me riding the horse, and no one else touched the horse, even for the usual care. So you take care of the horse, you ride the horse, but it's your horse for 1 week.
Okay.
And in the end, you have a sort of a competition just for. I was young, so it's not a competition for the federation or something. It's just a competition for child.
Or the facility, no?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, and it was just to do something in the end with music, etc. And I actually fall from the horse in the competition, because there was the sidebars for a dressage field that they put inside, and the horse touched the bar with the right forelimb. So he wasn't expected it because he didn't see, and he gets very, very stressed. And I remember, as it was today, the horse started to jump, etc. And remember, as it was yesterday, like my coach saying, you have to fall now, because the horse is becoming crazy and you are not helping. And I was like, okay, I left everything. I fall, like
I got
on the ground.
Okay.
Whoa. It was quite strange, but people used to say you should punish the horse, and I was like, it's not his fault. I mean, I should have predicted it, and it's my fault.
And he was young, and if he has never shot the dressage poles and everything, it's normal. Something really strange that's him on the limbs, and he will, of course, at least have this reaction of what was this?
But it was a 4-year-old horse, so of course it was a huge reaction. But I mean, we were really, really bonded.
Nice.
Both together.
Even you were really bonded for those different new moments. You had these reactions that you have to be aware, of course.
Yes.
And even you have a bond and a positive bond.
Yes.
You have to take this awareness.
Nice. And it was a really nice horse. It was. I love the horse for the riding activity, but especially for the interaction on the ground. It was really interesting. It was a really nice horse.
Nice, lovely. And you still have some type of relationship when you go to Portugal with this horse or this facility, or you have?
No, the horse is not there anymore.
It's not there anymore.
Okay. I lost his track.
Sorry, but it's a very nice story and gives the importance about what we were talking before about this, giving the horse the best. What you said, no, the best experience about horses.
Yes.
So that's very nice. Okay, let's move on. And now 3 things that you will modify from your work, passion, or profession.
Well, I hope that because I'm also a teacher in the veterinary school, I really hope that teaching my students will change the world of veterinary practice, and that all my students will start to do what I do. So take time before doing anything unpleasant to the horse. So create a bond with the horse before doing anything unpleasant.
Nice.
If this is something that in 10 years is already done, I would be very happy.
Nice.
So this is one. Other thing that I would like to see is, well, you have my papers. I would like to see some of these papers being used in practice. So, for example, I know that for horses that are ridden, the shouldering exercise will help them to cope with the situation of being ridden. So use this exercise when the horse becomes stressed. I would like to see this happening. It's already proved. So I would like to talk with people in the field, on the field, and explain the studies, help to do something to change. And I would like to continue doing research and understanding new things about horses. Yeah, of course, we need to continue learning. We don't know almost anything. We think that we know a lot, but we don't know anything. So
totally agree with those words.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So you want to say then something more? No, it's okay.
No, I think that
I think
I don't see my life without horses. I really think that I need to buy some horses because I need to have horses at my place.
Right. Okay.
And I'm starting to work on it. But I think that in 10 years I will have some horses, a herd probably, and I will be happy just with that. Yeah.
You will have a big country house with lots of fields.
Yeah, that would be my dream.
And create this four-legged family, no?
Yeah.
I think what you say about giving this education and this information and creating the future vets, the awareness about this impact.
Yes.
And so that just they can be aware. And if in 10 years we are able to do this, it's fair enough. One of my motivations for doing this podcast and this YouTube channel and all of this, and all the people that I meet around with Erasmus Plus and my travels around, is just to bring and bring the awareness and that they are really doing lots of things just around. And we have to listen, just not listen because my all-day vet says this is A, B, and C.
Yes.
Okay, maybe it's A, B, and C, but what if it's E and F? No.
Yeah. And if this E and F could change the world.
Okay, of course, and it will be easier, and it will it's turn out to be easier, less expensive.
Exactly.
So it's perfect, and horses will be enjoyable.
Yeah.
And it will have
when you think about animal welfare and you think about animal husbandry, for example, cows, pigs, goats, and sheep, we already know that these animals, if they are happy or if they are in the good animal welfare conditions, I would say, they are more productive, and there are less losses, for example, for wolves attacks, for example.
Okay.
Because they stay in group.
Okay.
And when they are in group, they are not attacked.
Okay.
So this is just an example of one thing that could change the world for these animals, and it's not so hard to do. So we know this for these animals. We don't know much for horses. We need to do it. We need to go and try to understand how it works.
Nice. How it works. Yeah. How the horses works.
Exactly.
And that's this. It's just not about the health or the physical health. It's about all.
Yeah. So. Yeah, because we used to say that, well, the animal is sick because there is something in his body. I mean that psychological things are in his head, and the head is part of the body.
Of course.
For my understanding. So it's something that we need to take care.
It's in human, you now start talking about mental health.
Yeah.
You know? So if now we are starting in humans to talk about mental health, it's going to be difficult to bring people aware that horses also have mental health, or animals have mental health, because you have to change your point of view, and you have to change how you interact and how the experience and how the things are made. And that's very difficult.
Yes, but scientific research already proves that horses have mental issues and mental stress, and we know that it exists. So we need just to explain to people that it exists and to make them understand. It's not like a sort of an argument between people. It's just I would say a healthy discussion about the problem that we already know that exists.
Yeah. It's okay. This is what it is, and let's try to improve it. Just a little bit, just 1 point. If we increase it 1 point, that will be okay.
Yeah.
Every generation and every interaction you have with horses and with humans, if you go one improvement at a time, that will be very nice.
Exactly. So I'm not really certain that we should stop riding horses. I think that we should find solutions that we can ride horses in a good situation. Good for the horse, good for us.
Of course. I also
if we don't, it's okay. So we tried, we didn't find a solution. That's it. But we need to try to find it.
Of course. And I think that it's possible that horses enjoy being right.
Yes, I'm certain of it.
Of course, but you have to be aware, and you have to create the spaces and the situation, and you have to think, and you have to be creative of how you create this new space of development. No, and that's the difficult part, I think.
Yeah, and I think also that we need something else, that is to have parameters, something that we can look to the horse and see if he's enjoying or not. Something that says, okay, he's enjoying. This is it. This is what I need to do.
Okay.
And this is the point that we don't have really yet. We have things that tell the horse is in pain, the horse doesn't like it, negative points we have, but we need positive points to say the horse is really enjoying it. We need to find it.
We will.
Yes.
We will. We are working. There's lots of people working.
Yes.
Like Sofia in this type of positive impact with horses.
Yes.
And we just have to keep contact, and like what horses do in the herd, in nature, no? They go in groups, they go in a herd, they collaborate, they synchronize, and they don't disturb for the living, for the supervivencia en español. Supervivencia, survival.
Survival.
Survival needs. No? So that's nice. Awesome. I think the next question you already answered a little bit, but now we go to the capsule time.
Yes.
And this will be on Spotify and YouTube. What will you tell Tiago in the 2032, when in 2023, in 10 years, in 2032?
Well, I think that in 10 years, as I was saying a little bit, I would like to have my herd, to be working with my herd, but also to keep going works with other people with horses, because if I have just the impression of what I see with my herd, it will be a situational context. Okay. So it couldn't be generalized for all horses. So I want to make cooperations with people that have horses, to go just to observe, to take notes, to record, and to see how horses are working out, how are them, and what can I do to change it, or to not to change it, to improve it, because perhaps it's already good, but we have always a place to improve. Okay. So I don't see my life other way around. I think that I would be working with horses, not only horses, with dogs also, because it's also one part of my specialty. It's also the horses, the dogs, sorry. So I see myself working with a lot of dogs and horses, and to understand how they and I think that they are very similar, actually. That's why I love to work with both, because they are both social species attached to humans and working for humans. I don't say with humans, because we are not still working with horses. We are trying to improve it, but for the moment they are working for us.
Yeah,
they will work with us, I'm sure, but we need to continue our work. Yeah.
But like in the old times, like in the Middle Ages and all that, horses and humans were working together, because like people in the countries, they need horses, and the horses had to be very, very fit and very, very healthy.
Yes.
Because if they start to be limp, they could not work on the fields.
Yes.
So lots of time, like in the fields and the countrysides, those families were much more responsible of the management and the husbandry of horses. Course.
Yes.
Than even their own family.
Exactly.
Their own human family. So
exactly.
In what moment of humanity, that's another question, like wider. Yeah. When we have created this connection between horses working with, no?
Yeah, I think it's an easy question for that sake, because I think that is the industrial world boom that happened. Before, I think that, well, first of all, we were dependent on horses, we were dependent on dogs, and of course this make us very, very attentive to their welfare and to their needs.
Okay.
With industrialization, I think that machines are working in the place of horses, and of course we start to use horses like I would say leisure, or just to like a hobby and not like a work. There are still working horses. If you go to Chile, There are a lot of working horses, but I mean that the proportion of working horses compared to sport horses, it's really small.
Yeah.
So I think this is what changed the world and our vision about horses, but perhaps sometimes we need to come back and see the horses again as they are and try to understand them. And I mean, we can do everything with horses. Horses are always available to us. They never say no, unless they have pain or something that is not really going well, but they never say no.
They never say no. That's true. Totally.
It's up to us to find a solution to make them doing what we need them to do, but happy. We can do it.
And it will create a better relationship between us and horses, and much more enjoyable. So it's a win-win situation. So
and I think one thing that is important that most riders today, I would say high-level riders, don't have the time to be with the horses on the ground. They go to ride and that's it. And this breaks the relationship. So I think they need to take time to be with the horse, not to ride the horse, to be with the horse.
Yeah, that's very important, to be with the horse.
Yeah.
Good piece of advice. When you were saying this, that you want to collaborate and connect and observe all the horses, you are very welcome to come to Bilbao, to Spain, to my stables, and do some observations and talk and discuss and collaborate and create some type of project or whatever. So we will keep
very much. I think we should do some projects together. It would be very
I would be happy to do that. So very happy. And just the last question, we have a Spotify playlist of iPony Outdoors. And what type of song or music would you recommend to add to this list, to this playlist?
Well, I'm a Portuguese guy, so I would go with Fado, the Portuguese song. And there is a Fado that is, quite old already, but very interesting for me because it talks about the Lusitanian horse. And the name of the song is, I will say in Portuguese and I say in English if it is better. So in Portuguese is Meu Cavalo Lusitano, my Lusitanian horse. From Manuel da Câmara is the name of the singer. Manuel da Câmara. Yeah. And this music is very good because actually it talks about all the things that Lusitanian horse, but for me it's the same for all horses, all the things they can do, the things they do for us, and somehow the relationship we have with them, or we should have actually. They say that we have, but I would say now to that we should have.
Nice.
So I think the nice music. Yeah.
Nice. I will join it up and put it on the Spotify list.
Yeah.
And I think it's very nice what you have told about the experience of the horse and to be with horses and to understand them. I think they deserve it, and it would be everything much nicer. So I'm very happy for having this small talk with you and this interview, and it has been a great pleasure. It
was my pleasure
to have this chat, and hope the best. And keep in touch and open for the future collaboration and that cooperation.
Of course. Thank you very much. And
so thank you very much. See you soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.